The EFL Championship season starts in just a few hours now, so let's do my predictions for the 25-26 season for Birmingham City. So of course the EFL Championship season starts tonight, and who else but us could start the season at home against relegated Ipswich. Now of course we come into this season on a very, very high standard, and you know, after the amazing season that we had last season, getting 111 points, we're going to be buzzing and we're full of momentum, and I really think we're going to take that into this season. If you guys haven't already watched the basically Blues documentary on Amazon, Wagner actually says we are now, this season, where we started. Of course, when they took over, we got relegated and we made a few mistakes, but we are back to square one where we should be. And honestly, I do think getting relegated, it sounds stupid, was a blessing in disguise, because it meant a lot of the rubbish players that we had to leave. Whereas if we didn't get relegated, we might still have those players. Overall, now, without even just the signings that we've made this season, the squad is so much better than it was back then. And before the signings we even made this summer, we'd have done a good job in the Championship. But with the signings that we have made, obviously the only player we've actually spent money on so far is Kyogo, and that's ridiculous. To think we even got him for how little we got him. He's an absolute bargain. I mean, he was definitely the best player in the Scottish League for a long time. Of course, he had a stint in the French League, but that didn't really go his way. But he's an unbelievable player, and to be the only signing that we've made with actual money is ridiculous. Of course, we've also signed Tommy Doyle on loan, which again, he was unbelievable at Sheffield United. I don't know how we're getting these players, but you know, seriously, we must have some kind of pull or something. It must just be the project. Of course, we've also signed a right back. I'm gonna butcher his name, so I'm just gonna call him Bright. And again, he's played European football. He looked really good at Fenerbahce, and he's a really good addition to the squad. We've also got Phil Newman, who of course signed for us a while ago, but he's joining now officially. And we've also signed the left back, or centre back, I've forgotten his name off the top of my head, from Brighton on loan. We've also signed James Beadle on loan, which of course is kind of it's a good signing, but for me, I'm not too sure where he fits. I think Ryan Alsop is going to be the number one still, so it doesn't make sense to me why Sheffield Wednesday, well, not Sheffield Wednesday, he came on loan from Brighton would let him go out on loan, especially knowing that he's not going to get much play time because he's going to be second choice behind Alsop. Personally, I would have thought it would have made sense to go somewhere else and be first choice. But I'm not complaining, it's a good backup, definitely better than Bailey Peacock-Farrell. And of course, we've also signed Fujimoto, who's looked an unbelievable signing, and of course, the return of our boy, Damari Gray. That's all the signings we've made so far, I think, off the top of my head. I might be wrong, but we have also got that big German guy who is set to sign for us. And by the time you're watching this video, he may have already signed for us. Overall, with the players that we've signed this summer, we should be pushing. I know that's easy for me to say as a Blues fan, but honestly, I think if we finish in the second half of the table, I think it's a fail. I know Wagner said a couple months ago that, you know, it's in the 5-year plan to get to the Premier League, but he seems so streamlined to just get there. I think we should be pushing for playoffs. And honestly, I know I'm going to say something quite controversial here, but it would not surprise me if at Christmas we are around that lower mid-table section. It wouldn't surprise me if we do sack Chris Davis, only because as good as a job as he's done, I think Wagner and the owners are so streamlined to get to the Premier League that if we do start slipping and get to a low point, they're going to be ruthless, and I think that's not a bad thing. It's just the way they're going to run this football club. But honestly, me giving a prediction, I do think we're going to finish in the playoffs. I'm going to say we'll finish 4th or 5th, and I hope we'll win in the playoff final. But I think we will finish in the playoffs. In terms of the actual, you know, predicting the awards and stuff like that, I think Kyogo is going to finish our top goal scorer. I think that's a given. I do think Kyogo will get player of the season for the players and the fans. It wouldn't surprise me if Stansfield gets fans player of the season again because they absolutely love him. But I think Kyogo will get our players player of the season. And in terms of numbers, honestly, I can see Stansfield, Kyogo getting 10 plus goals. Even Damari Gray, I can see getting up there in terms of 10 plus goals pushing. We now look like we've got a really solid attack. The midfield is stacked. You know, we've got Tomoki Iwata, Paik Sung Ho, Tommy Doyle. We've got Fujimoto, and even the defence now looks absolutely solid. Of course, you've got Phil Newman, you've got Christoph Clary, you've got Laird, you've got Alex Cochrane. We're supposed to be signing some defender from Augsburg as well. We've got Ryan Alsop in goal, who was amazing last season. And of course, you've got our new signing, Bright, and that left back, or centre back, whatever you want to call him, that we signed on loan from Brighton. The problem that we have now, it's not really a problem. I see Blues fans like arguing about it all the time on Twitter over like lineups and stuff. Our squad depth is that good now that you can't really pick a starting 11 without causing a bit of controversy. Because, for example, if you play Paik and Iwata, people are going to say, how have you left out Doyle? If you play Doyle and Paik, how have you left out Iwata? And so on. You know what I mean? We've got that in the squad now where if you leave one player out, everyone's going to say, wait a minute, why have you left him out? And that's a good thing to have. Overall, I do think we're going to have a very good season. Like I said, anything in the bottom half is a fail for me. I'd love to get playoffs. I am predicting us. I said 4th or 5th, let's be honest. I will predict us to finish 5th. That's my prediction for this season. In terms of the Ipswich game later today, honestly, I think we're going to beat them. I think the momentum will carry us through this season. I think we'll be amazing at home again. Of course, we've got a waiting list now for season tickets, which I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. And in terms of atmosphere, I do think this Ipswich game is going to be like that Newcastle game in the Cup. That was ridiculous. That was honestly, probably, other than Villa games, the best atmosphere I've seen at Blues in a very, very long time. And I think it's going to be the same again on Friday night. There's going to be fireworks, there's going to be goals, and it's going to be very, very loud. And I can see us getting the 3 points. And I'm going to say 3-1. So there are my predictions for Blues this season. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, Blues fans. Where do you think we're going to finish? Who's going to be our top goal scorer? Stuff like that. Let me know any of your thoughts down below. Of course, with the new season coming up, that does mean away games are coming back. So let me know what you guys want me to do. Do I carry on doing away game vlogs? Should I do that? Is that something you guys want to see? Let me know. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We are very close now to 300 subs. And then after that, let's push for 500. But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you stick around, Blues fans. Keep right on, and I'll see you later.